So without any further ado, then I think let's just start.
Kind of gonna get dirty. And I would also like to tell everyone that if any questions you people have, you can always put it up in the chat window and we can take the questions later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So today's session is only on how we can grow our own microgreens, why we should grow our microgreens, and what are the various options we have for growing the microgreens. Okay. So a little bit about myself. So that's a better picture of me. The company is called Startup Cycling Now, and we have a vision to have sustainable and environment-friendly cities. And we go about this. Our mission is by empowering people and enhancing communities. So we we do a lot of workshops with schools, with corporates, with societies, so that we can empower people to be able to eat healthy by growing their own food and composting their own food, because it's actually a cycle of health, good health. So these are a few activities that we do normally in better times. So we have a compost to garden solution for societies. We have a budding gardener program recently started for children from 3 to 6 years. And we have an early engineer program for children from 7 to 13 years. So normally this is a very good time for rice planting, and for the last few years during this season, we would take a whole like a bus load of children and parents to various farms, and we would actually do rice planting, which is a really fun activity. We also work with kids. You have a lot of hibiscus and interesting champas and flowers growing in the garden. So we also look at uh, making these into drinks that are good for us. So a lot of all activities on is about growing and using what is all around us, so that we are healthy. So this is a small thing. This is for societies that we have, where we also grow on the terraces, and we produce about 200 kilos of organic vegetables in 4 months, which goes, of course, directly to the society. And so here, in this way, every society's waste gets composted first. It goes into their garden, and they get a good organic meal from it, and that's it. That's a cycle that we have, and then there's no waste going out. So let's start with microgreens. So before I start,
Do you know what is microgreen?
Sorry?
Green.
Okay. So before I start further on microgreens, has anyone tried growing microgreens? If you have, can you put your hand up? Has anyone experimented? Okay, I can see Keena has done it. Anyone else has tried growing microgreens? Okay. So microgreens are very, very easy to grow, and they are the first two leaves that appear after the seed germinates. Okay, so the best time to harvest a microgreen is between 7 and 12 days, because if you wait for more than 12 days, your plant will now become a baby plant, and it will not be a microgreen. So the difference, Monali, can we like mute everybody else?
I would request everyone if we could just mute our mics. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay. So if we wait for more than 12 days, as I said, then your plant will become a baby plant, will not be a microgreen. When a plant is a microgreen, the leaves of the plant are actually different. And when it grows into a baby plant, again, the leaves change. So what is exactly a microgreen? They are the first two leaves which appear from the seed. And they are nutrient packed because these two leaves then push or are like the rocket to push the growth of the plant. So that is why it is nutrient dense. And if you grow your microgreens outside your window, it's very, very likely that birds, squirrels will come and eat it up. Why? Because they instinctively know that this is nutrient dense, that they're going to become really strong, that they're going to become very healthy. So they will eat it up. Okay. And as you can see, your microgreens have 80 to 200% more nutrition than your fully grown plant. So I'm really going to encourage all of you all to write down today. Okay. I'm going to discuss a whole lot of seeds that we can use, but I would like all of you all to, in the chat box, let me know 5 seeds that you're going to try growing with. All right? I need you all to list out 5 seeds that you are going to try growing with. So after your microgreens have grown a bit, the cut stems that you can mix it into the soil. It's just added nutrition to your soil, and you can regrow in the same container. Okay. So all your microgreens, okay, they are very rich in flavor, and as I told you, they are nutrition packed. And you have actually more nutrition in your microgreen compared to your mature vegetable. So that's another reason why you should grow it. Plus, it does not take any space. You can grow your microgreens even on a plate. Okay, you can grow it. You can grow it in a pot. If you have a big pot with a plant growing it, so you only have the stem of the plant, obviously where it's connected to the soil. You can even grow your microgreens around that, because your microgreens are not even going to go 1 inch down into the soil. It's just about a few mm's. Like it's just about like that. That's the amount of soil it requires. So you can grow your microgreens anywhere. Right? It's very, very easy. I'm going to give you so many options, and we're going to, all of us are going to note down what we are going to do before this session ends. Okay. So,
Natasha?
Yeah.
Sorry, a few people have put down the names of the things from which we can grow microgreens on chat.
Okay. So I can't see the chat right now just because I've got the screen share.
So do you want me to read it out?
Yeah. Please let me know.
So Shraddha has written mustard, wheat, and methi. Seema Gupta has written sunflower, green moong, methi, wheat, mustard. And Kena has written coriander, methi, and mustard.
Oh, wow. Okay, superb. This is a very advanced group then. I think a lot of people have tried out stuff already. So I'm gonna tell you, for all the beginners, the easiest ones that you absolutely should start with, because it's very important to get that 100% success rate in the beginning, to know that you can do this. And then after that, I'm going to tell you different ones which you can also try, where which is a little bit difficult, but since you've already got success in the first 3-4 that you've done, I'm sure you will manage this as well. So you can grow microgreens with almost all the seeds that is already there in your kitchen. Okay, so your moong, your chana, your chickpea, your green peas, they taste amazing. So first timers, I would suggest you all to try wheat, grows very fast. Rye or mustard again grows really fast. Methi, mung, all of these, spinach, lal mat, all of these grow in exactly 3 days. You will see it sprouting, and you will, I mean, it's like a very fast turnover time, all right? Other seeds you can look at would be sunflower. This is something that you can get over the counter. Of course, you've got to look for the non-roasted ones, okay? So you can do sunflower, you can do flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, what's he saying? You get these seeds like over the counter in your grocery store. So if you go in for the non-roasted varieties, you can try and grow them as microgreens as well. And then if you'd like to try out radish and carrots and beetroot, and that you basically will require the seeds from a nursery, and we'll be happy to supply it to you. But today's session is basically how you can keep this like a everyday, like a weekly habit with everything that's already there in your kitchen. Okay. Now, before we go further, I'm going to tell you all about, around 4 plants which you should absolutely not grow as a microgreen. And that is your tomato, your potato, your capsicum, and your brinjal. So these 4 plants, they actually grow in the shade, or they are called nightshade plants, and they produce toxins at the microgreen level. So these are 4 plants that you should not grow as a microgreen. Everything else you can grow as a microgreen, but only for your tomato, potato, capsicum, and brinjal, I would say no, don't do that. Okay, just because it's poisonous for human consumption. Okay, so now another way you can, if you're looking at, okay, now how do we get started? So we can take any shallow dish, takeaway container, an existing pot. When I'm working with small children, okay, between 3 to 6 years, I also encourage them to get their toys. So boys can grow in the back of their truck. Girls can grow in the teacups or saucers and all those tea sets or kitchen sets that we have. Okay, and we'll make it so if your kids are between 3 to 6 years, I'm going to give you all a very simple way so that it becomes neat and clean for them to handle this. Okay, so the first option you can do is just use a tissue paper, fold it and fit it in nicely inside your container. Wet it nice, see that it's nice and moist. And after you see that it's nice and moist, then you empty your container so that the excess water comes out. So I can see one boy, Dwight, right? He has a huge tissue paper in his hand. So you don't need so much. Maybe just take 2 sheets of that. So you can allow it. See, ideally, if you're using your tissue paper, you just see that it's at least about 3 or 4 mm thick, just so that your plant has something to anchor on. If you use just 1 sheet, then your plant will not have much to hold on to. So you should see that it's at least so thick so that your plant has something to anchor. Perfect. Otherwise, it's okay. So how big is your container? Okay, superb. So that means that thing will fold at least 3 or 4 times to fit inside the base of the container, right? So just see that it's at least 3 or 4 mm. Fold it well, let it sit there. First add water. After you've added water and you've seen that the entire thing is nice and wet, turn it over so that the excess water falls out. Now sprinkle your mustard on it. I think everyone should have mustard at home. That's one of the easiest things to grow. Sprinkle some mustard on it, and you will put a lid on it. All right. There is a reason. I'll come to that. little later. The second option, if you have soil at home, all right. If you have soil at home, then you can try this out in another container where you put a little bit of gravel down, or if you have wet leaves. In this season, you will get a lot of damp leaves which have fallen down, right? So if you don't have gravel, just put some wet, like a whole lot of wet leaves down, and on top of that, you put at least a quarter-inch of soil. So even in your lid, put a quarter-inch of soil, and now you will wet it nicely. See that it's really nice and damp.
And to put half oil.
Sorry. No, so see, Advait, what you can do is, you've tried the tissue paper? Yeah, so why don't you just try the tissue paper? That will also work very well for you, okay? Do that. If you have another container, in container number 2, okay, there you can try putting a little bit of, first add some gravel or some wet leaves, and then you put soil on top of it. But this is for container 2. Okay, then you will wet it. You will take out the excess water, and you can put your seeds. After you put your seeds, you put a lid on it and you keep it. For people who don't have tissue paper, they don't have soil, I have one more option for you. If you have coconut husk at home, so the brown part of the coconut, if you use coconut in your food, and the brown husk of the coconut, okay? I have some husk over here. See, I have some husk over here. So this is the, oops, yeah, there you are. So the brown husk of the coconut, you can also put that as a layer down and put your seeds, wet it thoroughly. Now, if you're using coconut husk, it has the ability to absorb a lot of water, like a lot of water. So if you're using coconut husk, then wet it really well. Put maybe 2 cups of water on it. Let it soak in over there for maybe half an hour or so, and then empty the water out, and then you sprinkle your mustard seeds on it, cover it, and keep it. Okay. So now, if you don't have any of the 3 things that I have spoken about, you can still grow your microgreens if you have an old cotton t-shirt or an old cotton rag at home. You can just fold it, again put it in a container, wet it really well, thoroughly, put your seeds on it, put a lid on it, and it will grow. So I think we have 4 ways to do it. The first easiest being your tissue paper. You could also use an old rag. Then of course you can do soil, and then you can do the husk of the coconut. So whatever you have at home, now you have a lot of options how you can do the microgreens. So everyone has to do microgreens, okay, today. So those are the 4 things. Now, okay, why am I asking you all to put a lid on it? Have you, if you felt this, I would like you all to use the option on the participants to put a hand up, just so that I can see the hands up on the screen, okay? Or at least I'm doing a screen share, but the hands up keeps coming on my screen, and I know that you all are there. So after it rains, does it feel hot? Yes? So if you feel hot, please just raise your hand. Right? Super. So I can see 2 people have raised their hands. Only 2 people have raised their hands. Okay, 3 people have now raised their hands.
We have to put soil after we put wet leaves, no?
Yes, yes, that's right. Yes, you have to put soil. So after it rains, it becomes really hot, right? And it's this heat which causes our seeds to germinate. And when we put a lid on top of our container, what we are doing is we are trying to create a similar atmosphere in our pot, which is created otherwise in the earth. All right. And the heat causes the germination to happen. So now, after the rains, if you feel the heat, you understand that it's very, very important for that heat to happen, because the heat causes germination to happen everywhere. And that is why everybody loves the monsoon, because it's so beautiful and green to look outside your window. Everything just becomes like, just gets a beautiful dress of green, and we have to thank the heat, okay, for that. And this is exactly what we are going to do now. By covering our microgreens, we are going to generate heat. So you're not going to open this for the next 3 days. On day 3 you will open it, and when you open it, you will see that all your little microgreens, all your seeds have germinated, and they've all started, getting a little small sprouts have happened. Fine. We also do this when we are making sprouts. We soak our seeds overnight first, and then we tie it up in a cloth and we keep it, right? Again, when we are tying it up all together and keeping it, we are also generating heat. Right? So in the same way, like now, when you're trying to grow microgreens for any of the pulses, so if you're looking at your chanas, if you're looking at your rajma, if you're looking at your green peas, anything which is more than 2 mm, all right? Anything rather which you can catch nicely between 2 fingers, which you can catch easily between 2 fingers. Any seed that you can catch easily between 2 fingers, that's what I would say. For these seeds, you will have to soak them preferably overnight so that they absorb a lot of water. And then throw off the excess water, put it inside your container. Okay, I would need everyone to just mute, okay? Thank you. Okay, so yes, I can see that, Adroit. So
Okay, ma'am.
yeah, you're absolutely fine. I think you've put a lot of soil, but it's going to work, okay? So sorry, what was I saying? I was talking about the pulses. Okay, so you are going to soak it overnight. After you've soaked it overnight, you can drain off the excess water, and now put those seeds inside your container, and then put a lid on it. So we are going to do this we are going to soak it overnight only for those seeds which we can hold easily between 2 fingers. For the seeds which are smaller, you can just put it directly on your soil or on whichever medium we've discussed. It is going to grow well. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to share with you all in the chat a small video that we have made. Can you see the small sprouts which have happened over here? There's an example that I've done with with the coconut husk. So you can see even with the coconut husk, it's going to sprout really well, but you have to just ensure that your coconut husk has been very well watered, because it absorbs a lot of water. And once it's watered well, cover it and it's going to sprout, and that's what you're going to see. Now I've got a YouTube video which we've made on microgreens, and I'm going to share it in the chat so that everyone can just go through it. That also explains everything really well, so you will have something to refer to after our session is over. Yeah. Yep. I have also said don't opt for using newspaper or cardboard as a base to grow on, because newspaper and cardboard specifically, they have a lot of chemicals in it. From newspaper, though, you have a lot of ink which comes out. So although you technically can grow on it, it's not advisable because we're going to be eating that up. So you don't want to be eating those inks, and you don't want to be consuming all those synthetic chemicals that is put into newspaper and cardboard. So don't use these options. All the other options we've discussed, you can go ahead and use it. Again, if you're using tissue papers, preferably use a plain white tissue paper which is not colored. Okay, so just the plain simple white ones are perfect. That will work. Yeah. Okay. So what happens? So you've taken a shallow dish. You've now, if you're growing with soil, all right, then you want to make a small indent into the soil with your fingers. Whoever's growing with soil, uh, take your 4 fingers, make a small mark, make a small lines, make lines in your soil, and then pour your seeds inside those lines, just so that they space out nicely and they're not all clumped up together. You can also grow, as I told you, in a big pot that you already have. And if you're putting lentils inside it, if you're putting any mung or anything like that inside for your pot, all your pulses, when they germinate, they give out a lot of nitrogen. So it will help your plant, your main plant, to grow bigger and better, just because it's getting a boost of nitrogen. Okay. And can you grow all of this indoors? My answer is yes. Because for the first 3 days, you don't require to keep it outside. On the third day, you can take your container and you can keep it in a place, even on your windowsill or even on your table, even on your platform, which is getting enough of light, just general light. Say if you have to enter that room and you don't need the light in the morning, then you can grow over there, right? If you don't have a lid, as you can see, what I have done in the picture over there is I have put the entire container inside a plastic bag and I made a knot so that there is less air circulation, and again there will be heat generated. If you are going to grow this in a big pot, then what you're going to do is you are going to take a bag or you can take a thick cloth and put it around the pot. So the plant which is growing is still there, but you are just covering up our seeds again so that the germination happens fast. Now this is the monsoon season. It is it's a little bit cooler, right, than our summer season. So what we have noticed is that the germination happens, but it takes a little bit longer. In summer, the germination happens really fast, all thanks to our heat. And in winter, it may take a little bit longer. So that is why I've given you all a range for the days between which you need to harvest your plant. From 7 to 12 days, it could extend in colder seasons, and in the warmer seasons, it can happen much faster. So these are pictures of our microgreens that we did in summer when it was really nice and warm. So you can see day 2 only they started growing big, and day 3 it's already more than 2 inches. Day 4 they were about 3 to 4 inches big. This is mustard over here, and by day 6, right, they were all bending over because they were so big. So it's you according to the seasons, your microgreens may grow faster or they may grow slower, but normally we can harvest it easily between 7 and 12 days. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take a quiz now for you all. Monali, you're going to be my eyes because I cannot see the chat. All right.
Sure.
So which seeds can you grow as microgreens?
Chili. Chili would be
You don't have to say the answer loudly. Just write it in the chat. your answer. Okay, this is what Kina thinks, that you can grow chili as a microgreen, but everyone else can have their own answer.
Shall I say on? Shall I
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
tell
Have you
you?
got
Okay.
enough of
Yes.
shares?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
So, just a minute. Yes, so Seema, Kena, Shruti, Shruti is writing brinjal. Seema, Kena, they have written chili. Rachna has also written chili.
Okay. Okay, superb. So everyone's paying very good attention. Big clap to all of y'all.
Wait, this is also chili.
Okay, so just a recap: tomato, potato, capsicum, and brinjal. All of these, they are nightshade plants, and we cannot use them as a microgreen because they are poisonous. All right. So I'm glad everybody has figured that out. We can only grow the chili and we can grow all of them, but we can't consume it as a microgreen. You can consume it as a full vegetable, yes. But chili, they are really nice. I would really suggest you try growing chili as a microgreen, because even the small leaves have a lovely slightly spicy flavor to it. So it's really nice to try out. Okay. Next question: which is the best time to consume your microgreens? Just put it in the chat. Okay.
Yes, just the option.
Yes, the option A, B, or C.
Okay. So Shruti and Avni, they are saying 3 to 5 days. A. Kena,
Okay.
Shraddha, and Seema, they're saying B, and Seema is as well as A. She's writing two options, A and B. Nehal has written B. Okay, so there's 4 of them B and 3 of them A.
Yeah, so we've got a mixed response here. Okay,
Yes.
the correct answer would be ideally 7 to 10 days. All right, so the answer is B. But again, if you're working with the bigger pulses, right? There it is possible that sometimes it may take 12 days. So if you're working with peas, green peas, or if you rajma, okay, anything as the seeds become bigger, they sometimes take longer time to germinate. So up to 12 days is normally fine, but the correct answer is for 80% of the seeds fall in the 7 to 10 day range. Okay, so that would be the right answer. Okay. The next answer is this. Question is this: you uncover your microgreens after how many days? A, B, or C?
So Shraddha has written A, and Seema earlier she had written A for this question. So she also says 3 days.
Okay. No one else is answering?
And Kena has also mentioned A. Advait has also mentioned A. So,
very good.
yeah,
Superb.
all of them A.
So full marks for everybody. So everyone's paying attention. Yes. Good. So after 3 days, you uncover your microgreens, get them out. You can now you can add more water into it. So the first day you've added a good amount of water. You've taken out the excess water. You put your seeds, covered it, and just keep it for 3 days. After 3 days, now you can add water to it also. A little bit, okay? So how do you know whether you're adding the correct amount of water? So what you can do is, for all the children who are there, you can have a toy also inside the microgreen inside the box, or you can have a small pebble, and you can lift the pebble up and check it. If the pebble is completely wet, like like you have a bath and you dip the pebble in water and it's so wet, that means there's a lot of water. You don't add more water. If you have a couple of things stuck on it, that means your watering is just right. You can add water to it. Okay. But it's very important that we don't overwater our microgreens, because especially in this season, if you overwater, you could get a small white fungus that may come on the seeds, which you don't want. So very important to ensure that we don't overwater. Super. So okay. Now let me just share the
Natasha,
yes.
sorry to interrupt. There's a question which Avni has asked. Do I put it right now? Do I put across right now or later?
Yeah. Let's take the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, Avni has been writing that does the material used for the base affect the quality or nutrition of what grows?
Not really. One minute. If you're looking at the base containers, no. Now, if you're looking at tissue paper, soil, peat, right? I'm glad you asked this question. It's a superb question. So, actually, we had done. We keep doing a lot of experiments with all these materials, and this is our findings. Okay, that if you use soil, I found if you use soil and a little bit of compost, your microgreens grow bigger. They grow taller. And if you grow it only on the tissue paper, there is zero nutrition that is coming out. So they don't grow too tall. But anyway, the microgreen is power packed by itself. So you will get all the nutrition that is packed in the seed. But if you want added nutrition, then it's advisable to preferably grow with soil. So although you have many soilless options, it's everything returns back to the earth to power life. So if you grow with soil, that's where you will get the most amount of nutrition. And if you can add a little bit of compost to it, super. Monali, I think you're on mute.
Sorry. Okay, so Avni is thanking you for answering the question so well. And Kena has a question that do we have to keep the pot in a dark place in indoor?
Not really. See, when you're covering it anyway, you're not giving it light. So, when we were doing the experiment for us, our space was on our windowsill only, but I just covered it and we kept it over there. So it's not. My thing is, a lot of people actually don't have sunlight coming in. So that's normally the question. But if it's okay if you keep it outside. It's okay if you keep it on your windowsill. It's absolutely fine.
Okay. These were the questions we had.
Okay, superb. So now that we have gone through this entire session, all right, I would like, I think only around 3 people had listed what they are going to grow, right? So I would like everyone to take a call to action today, now, and let me know 5 seeds that you're going to grow. There's a reason also. The reason is this, that say you grow today, tomorrow, so for the next week, every day after 7 days, of course, every day you can get a new crop that you can crop and eat. So you're making yourself strong and you're making your family strong. And when they get the taste of this, right, and you figure that it's also so simple to do, then ideally you need to keep doing it. This needs to become a habit, because in today's day, where we are all looking as to how to improve our immunity levels, this is a very simple, very small call to action which will actually boost your immunity levels. So can I get everybody, now I can see my chat, can I get everybody to please tell me 5 seeds? Even chilies are very simple, very easy to grow. We've already discussed whatever seeds. We've said chili, we've said flax seeds, rye, mustard, methi, Sunflower seeds also very simple. They sprout very fast. Okay, ajwain also grows well. Avni has written soft. So ajwain, soft, and I think Kena had mentioned coriander, right? So, oh wow, green chili, red chili. Yeah, so Shraddha, yes, green chili and red chili, both of them can be used. Doesn't matter, use it. In fact, what I'm going to tell you next is whatever you get in your kitchen, whatever you're cutting, right? Except for those 4 vegetables which I told you not to use. All the others, if seeds come out, just put it in your soil and let it grow. This is a season of plenty. Even if you don't take care of it, God takes care of it, that it will grow. So just put it in your soil, everything is going to grow. Avni says, would it be able to grow fruit seeds as well? Yes, you know what tastes really nice is lime, your regular limbu. It takes a little bit longer, but it grows and you can eat that as well, and it tastes good. Yeah. So the other fruits they take a little bit longer time. Okay, so Seema has asked about coriander. This question always comes up. So coriander, ajwain, these seeds which are slightly bigger. All right. What you need to do is put the seeds in a cloth. In any rag, take a rolling pin, for making chapatis, take a rolling pin and very gently crush it. All right. After crushing these seeds, open it and just see that almost all the seeds should have become into half. Now you take those seeds, mix some soil inside it, put it in a this is specifically for coriander and for ajwain, all right? Even for soft, you can do the same thing. Even for jeera, you can do the same thing, just so that it grows faster. Put soil into it and tie a knot. Wet it really well, and again keep it like that for 3 days. After 3 days, you can untie it and put it in your pot, and it will grow, and it will grow faster. Otherwise, these 3 seeds in particular take pretty long to germinate. So if you do this, the germination happens quite fast. Okay, so now I can see a lot of people have written methi, mustard, coriander, mung. Yes, please everyone try growing mung. It's very easy to grow mung. It tastes also very nice. So definitely do mung. What else is coming up? Chickpeas, yes, chickpeas is nice. Try green peas also. It's actually sweet to eat. The leaves are sweet to eat. Just because even the green pea is actually a bit sweet to eat, right? So try green peas also. It's nice. Okay, Kena has asked me to explain the process again for jeera and ajwain. Kena, what I said is you take the jeera and the ajwain or your coriander, all the seeds. You see, all 3 of them have slightly thick seed covers. So you put it inside a cloth, and you take a rolling pin and you just roll on it so as to crush the seed a little bit. You're crushing it for the dhania or for the coriander. I really want the seed to become half. All right. Then I'm going to add soil inside that and a little bit of compost, and I'm going to tie it up. I'm going to make like a ball, tie it up, wet it really well, and keep it for 3 days. Now for both of these, all 3 days, please ensure that it's nice and wet, because again, when you make it wet, then that encourages the heat to build up, and that's going to make our plants grow well. And then on the 3rd day, open it. It should have already germinated. In your cloth only it will germinate. Put it in the soil and it will grow fast. Yeah. Okay. So actually, I have a couple of Monali is Pariti there?
Pariti is sleeping.
Okay, fine. Is Dipti there on online?
Yeah, she I think just left. She's not there. She did miss. She was there earlier. She might join in again.
Okay, fine.
I think.
So I have been working with a few children, and I just thought it would be nice if they could give their experiences of how they grew their microgreens, just to encourage all the other children listening in. So both we have Pariti who's 6 and Dipti Surud who is 3 years old who's been growing stuff. So would you like to share something?
Yeah, why not? See, first of all, frankly speaking, when we started, and again, this is her sleeping time, so she didn't want to do it. But with my help and, thoda zabardasti, she did it. But I was so happy to see her from the next day, that feeling that I have done this. Absolutely, I have grown this. So doing that, I think encouraged her so much. The next day, the first day she was not excited at all. The next day, mama उसमें से कुछ बाहर आ रहा है, तो अब हम खा सकते हैं, अब हम खा सकते हैं, अब हम क्या करेंगे? So that entire feeling that I have grown something, I have put something which has grown and which we are going to eat. And then she said कि अब आपको सब्जी मंगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. We are going to grow every single thing. And I said, okay, there's a lot of time for that. So so her questions have increased. And then at the end, we made a salad. After about a week, Natasha, yes, the next week, we made a salad out of it. And the kids have cut everything on their own. So they chose what vegetables they wanted to take for salad, and then she cut it on her own. And absolutely, when we ate it, it was like, nahi, aise thodi na khana hoga, hame ise cook karna hoga. She said, no, you can eat it. And once we tried it, everyone in the family was like, how is this possible? How can you eat them just right after 6 days? It is not possible. And it was such a wonder. We had grown methi by that time.
Okay.
So that methi, the leaf in itself, it has a pungent taste to it.
Correct.
Absolutely like sarson ka tel. When you put things, when you cook vegetables in sarson ka tel, it gives that. And we are Punjabis. Like, so my sasural is Punjabi. So of course everyone loved that taste of sarson ka rai, the rai microgreen. No wonder. It was such a great experience. So every day looking at it, mama pani kam lag raha hai, ya mama aur thoda pani dalu. And I realized it's the process that's more important. Even if it doesn't come up, it's actually the process that's more important. So Natasha, do you want me to share those pics also?
Yeah. You can.
I'll just share.
Right. So, Avni, thank you so much, Monali. I'm really excited that the whole family was excited about eating it. So that's exactly why I want. Oh, wow.
So this is the first pic, wherein the second day of our microgreen, and then this is the yellow one. So, Natasha, if you would like to explain more.
Yeah. So this is also very interesting. So you can see it is yellow over here, and this is the third day, right? And so it's not yet come out in the sun. Do you want to show them the next picture?
Yes.
Can you see the difference in the color? So this is and this happens really fast, because as soon as the leaves come in contact with sunlight, from yellow they will become green, because they are now producing chlorophyll. And that's another really beautiful chemical reaction and a life thing that the children can see. It's amazing how the color changes in like 5 or 10 minutes. from yellow, all the leaves become green. And that's another very lovely thing for the children to see.
True. And this is the final picture.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone gets, all the leaves taste good. But the more important thing for it is that because the children have made it, because the children have grown it, they start eating, they eat it. And when they are eating it, and if they offer it to anybody in the family, that person has to eat it. There's no option over there.
Absolutely.
So
I also want to add, my husband even laughed at it कि ऐसे के कुछ भी करते हो तुम लोग, टिश्यू पेपर से कैसे उगेगा? And I said, even I wonder. See, this is just an experiment I'm doing. Even I'm wondering the same because I just have no experience into gardening. So, but it came out really well, really well.
yeah, so the reason why it will work, even with tissue paper is because the seed has in it all the power it requires to germinate. And we are not waiting for this to become a full-fledged plant or a full-fledged tree, right? We are going to consume it in 7 or 12 days when all that power from the seed has now become into a plant. So that is why it works even on tissue paper, even on an old cotton t-shirt. It will work on all these things. But as I said, if we add some soil and if we add some compost, it does grow better. But these are small steps that, so whatever you're comfortable with, it's important for you to start. It's important for you to start, and once you get started, you realize it is so easy to be healthy. It's so easy to make some really flavorful salads, which you can consume. Okay, so Avni has said, do you cut it with a scissor or hand? And does this crop grow only once and then we throw it, or it keeps growing? And what if no sunlight in the monsoons? Okay, superb question, Avni. So you will hold the microgreens. Wait, I have some over here. Okay. So here are these microgreens here. So this is like a second attempt. So my son had actually grown it on tissue paper the first time, and the first time when we had grown it, all the microgreens were the same height of the container. So as an experiment, we did not add any more seeds to this container, but we just added soil on the top. And whatever has grown now is already taller than the container. So this is the difference if you add soil. Your plants, they grow more, okay? And how will you cut it? So you can just hold the top part of it from here. You just hold it on the top like this, and you can take a scissor and snip it off. So you take a scissor and you just snip it off over here. Now the remaining stalk which is there, right? So this is good. So the remaining stalk which is there, mix it up. If you're using soil, just mix it up, allow it to sit down back into the soil, or even with your fingers, just run through the whole thing. So everything mixes up and it will compost over there. So now it's going to become a bedding for the next crop. So since you are cropping it when it's so small, Avni, you will have to put more seeds. And that is why at the start I've given you lots of options of seeds which is already there in your kitchen. So every day you can take some seeds and put it. As you're cropping, take some more seeds and put it over there. And if you're using this, as I told you, or in an existing pot, then and if you're using what is this pulses in particular, it adds a lot of nitrogen. What you can also do, this is what a few of my clients have done, and they shared with me, is they took soil from an existing pot, they grew their microgreens in it, or maybe twice, so 2 rounds. They kept putting the stalks back inside, and then they used all of the soil, they emptied it back inside the pot, and they took some other soil from the same pot. what happened is that plant also grew better because it started getting the composted microgreens in that soil. And this way they started doing it for all their pots. So they, whatever was left behind, they kept putting it back inside, and everyone kind of gets good nutrition. Okay, Shraddha is saying, do you have to make holes in the container? So you don't really need to make holes in the container, Shraddha. That is why I've given you an option as to how you can check if you are overwatering or not with a toy or a pebble. So you keep your pebble in the on the soil, and every day you can lift it up and check. So if it is completely wet, as if you've dipped it in water and taken it out, that means there's a lot of water, and do not add any more water inside that. If you check your pebble and it is completely dry, okay, like dry to the bone, so then again you have to add water. But ideally, what you want to feel is when you lift your pebble, if you have 2 or 3 things stuck on it, that means you are watering it perfectly. And this is a very simple way you can check with all your plants whether you're watering, overwatering, underwatering, or spot on with respect to watering. Very simple way.
Natasha, Kena has also asked that what type of soil we have to use. Pot mix or garden soil?
Kena, so see, what is the difference between garden soil and pot mix? The difference is this: in a pot mix, they add peat in it. But again, peat is it's basically just so that the soil is not clumped together. It doesn't really give you any nutrition. And your garden soil is just only soil. So that actually gives you nutrition. So, but as I said, your plants are small. It does not make a huge difference. If you are using just soil, it is always better. And then again, there are questions about what type of soil is good. Is red soil good? Is black soil good? Is yellow soil good? Is white soil good? So soil comes in a lot of colors depending on the minerals that are there in the earth, and they are all good. Okay, so there is no this is good and that is good. If you see, we are an agrarian country and we grow crops throughout India. There is no place where we are not growing anything. So all the soil is good. With respect to microgreens, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're not overwatering. Fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So do we have any more questions? Good. So I am going to just share for the benefit of everybody else. I'm going to share with you once more the video, the YouTube link.
Yes.
So that you can click onto the YouTube link and you can figure how to grow your microgreens. It's very well explained over there. That YouTube link we've made it with a lot of children, so I'm sure you will be able to connect with them. If you have any issues, please write into us at Startup Cycling Now. We are on Facebook also on the name Sun Startup Cycling Now, and we'll be very happy to help you on the way, along the way.
I might something.
Okay.
Great.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi. Well, ये reason क्या है ये करने के लिए और for making me do out the problem होगा regarding the approving everything we have to.
Does anyone have any more questions? Okay. So thank you everyone. Okay. Just a moment.
Ma'am, we don't have in the monsoon.
What happened?
We manage. Ma'am, we don't have sunlight in the morning, but how do we manage it?
Natasha, can you hear him?
Ma'am left.
I think there's okay. She might join in. She might join in. By mistake, she must have left the meeting. She might join in. Let's wait for her for 2 more minutes. See.
Sorry about that.
Yes, Natasha.
Yeah. Sorry, my thing just went off.
Natasha, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. So he has a question. Advait.
Yeah.
Over to you, Advait.
Yeah, ma'am, in the monsoon we don't get sunlight, then how do we manage?
So, Advait, are you going to grow in the same place where you're sitting?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that looks like a very nice and bright area. Your microgreens will grow fine. Basically, it should not be in a dark room. That's it. If it's getting the amount of light, how in the place where you're sitting, they're going to grow perfectly well. There's not really required the direct sun on it. Just regular, good, a nice bright room is fine for growing your microgreens.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Natasha, for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
All about anything else you want to say?
No, I think I'm kind of yeah.
We can wrap it up. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone to join us, Markham and Microgreens Workshop with Natasha. You all can contact her if you have any queries. So thank you everyone. We can wrap this up.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.